Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this overview on invoicing your CalAAP grant. My name is Adam Van Winkle, and I'm with the California Energy Commission unit that administers this program. Next slide. Here's a quick overview of today's topics. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll focus on how to invoice your CalAAP grant, followed by a Q&A session. Next slide. Only jurisdictions that were awarded a CalAAP grant will be eligible for invoicing at this time. This is not a new funding opportunity. Please remember the liquidation deadline for CalAAP is June 30, 2027. Submit all invoices by April 30, 2027 at the latest to allow for adequate processing time. These sessions are a chance to ask questions and gain some guidance on submitting your CalAAP invoice. Please visit our CalAAP webpage for more info and answers to some of your questions. Next slide, please. CalAAP program was awarded to 346 jurisdictions for a total of almost $19 million. To date, the program has invoiced about 4.6 million of those funds from about 183 total invoices. Many jurisdictions still haven't invoiced their grants, which is why we're holding these office hours. Next slide, please. The invoicing process is relatively simple. First, you will need to determine your expenses that are eligible for reimbursement. We cover that in more detail on the next slide. Next, complete the forms and submit them to the CEC. A how-to video is available on the CalAAP webpage. Be sure to include paid receipts for both materials and MIS and all other cost categories. Then the CEC will either approve the submission or request edits. If edits are needed, we will email you with the request. Once the invoice package is approved, a payment is processed and sits in the jurisdiction. This takes about up to 8 weeks. Please note that each jurisdiction can submit more than one invoice or until the grant funds have been exhausted. Next slide, please. Here's an overview of what we can and cannot reimburse. A complete list can be found in our solicitation menu. We expect most applicants to use funding to reimburse staff time spent integrating a permitting platform. For CalAAP Plus or Symbian users, this includes work done with those teams during integration. Funds can also cover training and education for staff and local installers. The key point for unallowable expenses is that we cannot reimburse any activities that occurred before the grant was officially executed. Only activities performed after the execution date are eligible for payment. If your jurisdiction already uses a platform like CalAAP Plus or Symbian, some costs may be still reimbursable. For example, we can fund maintenance such as adding support for energy storage related permitting. Next slide, please. Here are the 3 forms you will need to submit with your invoice. If you don't have the forms, just let us know and we can send them to you. The first is the invoice template with the amounts. The second is the supporting document form with the breakdown of the amounts. And the third is the self-certification form. When complete, you can email those forms to us. If there are any errors in the forms, we'll simply request those corrections. Next slide, please. After the original grant was executed, the CEC sent this exact email to each jurisdiction for the next steps to take. That email included forms you need to invoice your grant. If you can't find it, no worries. Just let us know and we'll resend the forms. Next slide, please. This is a tutorial video on our website. It explains how to complete the 3 forms and submit your invoice package. We do encourage you to watch it first, as it may answer some common questions and help you. Next slide, please. Now we'd like to move into our questions and answers segment of this office hour. This is a chance to ask any questions you might have about submitting an invoice. Purpose here is to develop a helpful dialogue. All questions are welcome. We'll do our best to get those answered. For more complicated issues, we may need some more time to get back to you via email. Our goal is to approve at least 14 million in invoice funding from now to the end of the program. And with that, we'll move into our Q&A session.
I have a question. I'm not really sure if I'm going to ask this correctly, but so we adopted a new permitting software after we got the Solar App Plus funds. And I wouldn't say it's directly related to Solar App Plus, but it does help us process Solar App applications. So we were wondering if the cost to implement the permitting software could be reimbursed. Thank you.
Have you already submitted a reimbursement for Solar App Plus integration?
We have submitted one, but I believe it was mostly for staff time, if I'm remembering correctly.
One
Okay.
group thinks it's just perfectly appropriate.
Okay, yeah, so the application itself, we can get that revised, the scope of work where you probably selected Solar App Plus initially. We'll look at that. Email us and I'll get back to you. And yeah, we can work through that. Other jurisdictions have changed.
You see,
Is there a reason for the change?
Over the change in software.
Yeah.
Yeah, our old software was not very good. It was very, just not very user friendly. So this new software is a lot more advanced and just has a lot more capabilities.
It's not Solar App Plus or Symbian?
No, so we have Solar App Plus, but we have a separate permitting software just for all permits known as Cloud Permit. But we do put Solar App applications into that software.
Oh, okay, okay. So that'd be
Yeah.
like a maintenance cost, ongoing cost. Yeah, that should probably be okay.
oh, sure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
We have a question submitted through Q&A, the chat. So from Benjamin from City of Half Moon Bay. He asked, we haven't invoiced anything so far. Can we do 2024 through today?
Yeah, yes, Benjamin. Yeah, you can invoice 2024 through today as long as that date. So on your invoice form, you're going to put the period request covered by request. The first date just cannot be before your execution date on your grant award. If you don't know that date, just let us know and we'll look that up for you.
I think that's all the questions that were submitted.
Perhaps,
Okay.
Adam, we can play the video and that way people can see more explanations about
Oh, okay.
how
Yeah.
to submit invoices.
The previous slide, Lucio has yeah, there you go. Hello, welcome to the California Energy Commission's walkthrough on how to submit an invoice to the CalAAP program as a grant awardee. We'll review 3 forms needed for submission. These forms were previously emailed to CalAAP awardees. The first is the invoice template, the second is the supporting document workbook, and the third is the self-certification form. The first form is the invoice template, which is only 1 page. Here at the top, you will include your agreement number, invoice number, which is your agreement number with an added -01 or 02, the invoice date, and the period covered by request dates. The beginning date of the period covered by request cannot be before your executed CalAAP agreement date. Next, the middle of the form will include the costs you are requesting to have reimbursed. You can choose to use one or all of the categories. The total to be paid cannot exceed the remaining balance or the total amount of the CalAAP award. Contact the CEC if you need to verify the grant balance. Have this form signed and dated by an authorized representative of the jurisdiction. The next form to complete is the invoice supporting documentation form. Please review the instructions tab for key points. There are 3 tabs for cost inputs corresponding to the 3 categories on the first form: direct labor, materials and miss, and all other costs. Some allowable costs are ongoing staff labor associated directly with the adoption and/or maintenance of a platform, third-party consulting costs, essential hardware costs, and up to 3 years of paid subscription fees. The categories and amounts must match the invoice template form. There's an important note here. The CEC will need copies of paid receipts for costs associated with the categories of materials and missed or all other costs. Please attach them to your invoice submission. The third form to complete is the self-certification form. Here you will indicate which automated online permitting software has been fully adopted by the jurisdiction. Next, you will certify that the platform is eligible for reimbursement and that all reimbursement activities have occurred within the grant term. Note here, CalAAP Plus and Symbian are eligible. A custom platform will need further verification by the CEC. An electronic or wet signature are both okay. If you need these forms, let us know by emailing calaap@energy.ca.gov and we'll send them to you. Thank you for following along. We hope this demonstration helps in the submission process. Please email the forms or any questions to us at calaap@energy.ca.gov when completed. There is also useful info on our website. Here are some key reference points. Remember, all funds must be liquidated by June 30, 2027. We highly recommend that you submit your invoices as soon as possible to avoid any processing delays. Submit no later than April 30, 2027 to allow for enough time for the CEC to process your invoice submission. Invoices cannot be paid after June 30, 2027. CalAAP webpage is a great reference point. You can find the original solicitation, answers to your common questions, and a tutorial video on how to invoice. Please note the webpage does not have the invoicing forms. Contact us at the email here if you need those forms or if you have any other questions. Next slide. Thank you for your time. That concludes our overview of invoicing the CalAAP grant. We do have future office hours dates for your reference. Thanks
But-
again, everyone.
Sorry, Adam, just I want to
Yeah.
say we are going to stay connected. So in case you have any other question.
Okay. We're going to be here a bit longer to see if anybody else is coming in, reconnecting for a question, or coming in late. So we're going to plan to conclude this office hour at 10:30.
Lucio, let's
It is about 11 a.m. and this concludes today's office hours and discussion. Thank you for your participation, and we hope to see you at our next office hours session on July 22nd at 10 a.m. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us through the CalAAP inbox. Thank you.